Hello, 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 hello. Fellow Nigerians, fellow Africans. Good morning. It is 4:30 a.m. Central Standard Time, Houston, Texas, United States of America. My name is Madu Ajaja, the convener of Open Nigeria and Africa Unite, and also the anchor of Nigeria Now at ONN and the Nightingale Radio International, broadcasting live from Houston, Texas. How are you all? The revolution reveals the truth. Are we ready? Yes, 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 yes. Please join. You know, one favor I want you guys to do. Do me, you guys on TikTok. Thank you. I really appreciate you guys what you are doing. TikTok is stopping the chart of my fans, friends, and the lovers of what I do for Nigeria and for Africa and for all people who are repressed around the world. I decided to do this because there were people before me: Marcus Garvey, Robert Nesta Marley, Nelson Mandela, Samora Machel, Sekou Toure, Modibo Keita, Jomo Kenyatta, Julius Nyerere, Kenneth Kaunda, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, Nnamdi Azikiwe, and a host of others who inspire my work. Emperor Haile Selassie I. Thank you. Please, please share my work. Do me that favor. That is the only thing that you can do for me. Share my work. My work is driven and inspired by the truth. I'm not a politician. I don't play game with people's lives. Earlier, I promised you something that I was going to do a show about what is taking place in Nigeria right now. Yes, Nigeria is in tatters. You know, Nigeria is supposed to be the most populous African nation on earth. For 63 years, we have been ruled by evil men. We have been wrecked. Nigeria has not made one single progress for its 63 years of independence. On October 1st, this year, 2024, Nigeria will be 64 years. A child that was born 64 years ago, any man who was born 64 years ago should have made some really serious, appreciable progress. But as a nation, as a country, Nigeria has not. And because of Nigeria, Africa is suffering a terrible setback. Yes, that Africa is suffering today is because Nigeria is setting the continent back. The whole of Africa, because of the size of Nigeria, because of its strategic position in Africa and in world affairs, because of its huge population, the whole of Africa put its hope on this edifice of a beautiful country, endowed with everything. Are you talking about human, natural, and mineral resources? But we don't have anything to show for it because of our tragedy of leadership. You know, when Nigeria falls back, it impacts all of Africa. Name one African country where there's no Nigerian. Nigeria lost respect. Nigeria invested so much in the liberation struggle of the whole of Africa, especially Southern Africa. You're talking about Angola, South Africa, Namibia, and all those places. Nigeria had its imprint at the time. Now, what happened? You know, imperialism, colonialism. And this is the reason why we will always talk about it, because it's an integral part of our story. And this is the reason I'm reaching out to you young Africans. I will not be tired of emphasizing it, how important it is for you to be more African than anything else, for real. The way Nigeria is right now, there should be a continental army that should come into Nigeria and invade the country and take it over and put sense back, restore sense back as a preamble for the unification of Africa. I didn't say Europe to come and invade Nigeria. I didn't ask America to come and invade Nigeria. Let it be an African action. Why do we have the African Union that is toothless, that cannot do anything? Yes, it is that is their beginning. This should be their starting point. Put up an army to invade Nigeria. Nigeria has no army anymore. Nigeria is so weak right now that any small push will be the end of it. And why is it? Tribalism, religious nationalism. We became more European than the Europeans themselves. We became more Arabs than the Arabs themselves because they brought their religion. Those two religions were ours. We saw them first. You see, the story of Jesus Christ, it's an original African story. Yes, where was the Ark of the Ark of the Covenant found? Ethiopia. The Garden of Eden is Ethiopia. We were the original people. You know what they came? Whenever they come, they would destroy everything. Then they took the story, put politics inside it, put economics inside it, brought them back to the people of Africa. And we brought them life, hook, line, and sinker. We lost who we are. We lost our moral compass. We lost our originality. We became beggars. We became paupers. We became those people that anybody can come in and trample on. We lost our voice because we became morally bankrupt. Yes, God gave us three major things: knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. The knowledge that drove great kings like Mansa Musa, we lost it. Money, we lost those. Now, there are some of us who have found the moral compass, the lost moral compass of Africa. We have been trying everything to reset Africa, so Africa will be the Africa that we know. We changed the name of Africa because the name Africa was given to us by Europeans. The real name was Akebula. We need to go back to who we were. We were great people. So when you see God, now we see God from the prism of the Arabs. We see God from the prism of the Europeans who don't even really care about God. Their relationship with God is purely based on economics and nothing more. They use it to take from other people. That's why the same thing the Arabs are doing. We became their fools. Yes, they downgrade education to make us the fool, like Bob Marley said. You heard it? Yes, it's time we Africans must stand up. So now, let me tell you something, what is taking place in Nigeria now. Nigeria in tatters. You know, we went to do an election on February 25th, 2023. Before God and man, before the Almighty God and man, God and man knew who won that election. But because there has been these people who feel that they are privileged, that God gave them Nigeria to rule. They have not ruled the country, right? The country has been going down since the past 63 years. Going down, 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 down. A church should make progress, but Nigeria has never made any progress because of one group of people who said that God gave them Nigeria to rule. They don't know anything about leadership. They don't know anything about it. What they come is to come and collect, loot. All right? Steal from the people. That's all. That's all they do. They destroyed our infrastructure. They destroyed our educational system. They destroyed our healthcare delivery system. If you stand, anybody who stands up against them, they will go and find a way to kill the person. Nigeria has had so much blood loss than some countries in an active war. Yes, yes, people are not free to live in any part of Nigeria. It's supposed to be one country. We live in fear when we live in outside our immediate environment. Yes, that is how bad. Some people will tell you, go back to your hometown. Then what is the essence of our one Nigeria? If I cannot live in Sokoto, I cannot live in Kano, I cannot live in Lagos, I cannot live in Umuahia, I cannot live in Port Harcourt without nobody reminding me that I am not from there. Now, why am I a Nigerian? Why are we Nigerians? Why did they say we are one country? Why do we have one passport? Why do we have this one sovereignty? Why did they call that entity Nigeria? Questions before you and I of this generation. Nigeria had a very bad foundation. A bad foundation driven by hate, driven by ethnic rivalry, driven by regional and religious nationalism. The founding fathers of Nigeria were not entirely honest about what they want or what they wanted for Nigeria. They did not bring the people to the mainstream of Nigeria to organically unite them. They were tribal and religious warlords. Some educated their people, yes, and in the southwest, education, in the southeast, great education. But in the north of Nigeria, the people were denied education because of the feudalistic oligarchy in the place. Education was only reserved for members of that oligarchy. And they have become these generational oppressors of Nigeria. They are the ones who want to come to the center. They tell you they come as North. They hear, before you say anything, I'm a Northerner. It's more pronounced. And then now we're beginning to hear Southerner. I was born in the south of Nigeria, but my parents never told me that I was a Southerner. What I heard about every time, all the time, until they died was Nigeria, Nigeria, Nigeria. Yes. I never, the Southern nationalism is not strong. It's fake, the first place. I know any of us who was born in that region, you know that there's no binding thing between those who they claim that they are Southern. They never are able to come together to get anything done. So that is why how fake it is. Like the Igbos and the Yorubas, they can hardly ever come together to get anything done. They are always at the dagger drawn. But they are more open. You can't tell anybody from there to go and kill someone and then he agrees. But in the north, it's a different ballgame. I'm talking about the northern north. In the middle belt, people are more moderate. People have, they are able to have their own independence. They're able to speak for themselves. But in the northern north, no. One man speaks for them. And whatever he says, whether it is right or wrong, he goes. And they don't want that to stop. And that is the reason why Nigerians cannot unite. That is the reason the youths from there are not able, they try, are not able to blend with the young people from other parts of Nigeria. The only time they blend, if it has anything to do with the politics of regional gangsterism, where they have to gang up against one ethnic group. No matter how bad the candidate from the group that they want to produce anything, no matter if it is a drug dealer like Bola Ahmed Tinubu, they will gang up against the group, someone else from another group, somebody who has the love for Nigeria. somebody who doesn't care where anybody comes from. But if you happen to not be from that part of their equation, forget you. You will not get anything. So that was how they put a drug dealer in charge of Nigeria right now. Yes. I am not saying it because I'm saying it. I am a die-hard Nigerian patriot. I am sad that that is happening in my own country, in my own lifetime. I think we should get over it. We should divorce ourselves from that ugly past of Nigeria, and look at Nigeria as our country. Look at Nigeria as our mother. A good son, a good daughter will treat his or her mother right. A good son, a good daughter will look after his or her mother. We are not looking after Nigeria. We are looking after our tribes. We are looking after our religion. Religion is supposed to be a private, personal business. But in Nigeria, it has become a state business. Government sponsor people on pilgrimage. That is supposed to be where you have to be talking to God. Pilgrimage, like it's a campaign manifesto, especially in the north. So many people. Some parts in the other parts of the country, they sponsor people to Israel on pilgrimage. That is supposed to be your business. If you love so God and you believe that God lives in Israel or God lives in Mecca, you should finance your project and not the government of Nigeria financing it. Now it has become a huge political issue. Yes. So where do we go from here? We need to review. We need to introspect. 3 years after, going to 64 years, a man who was born 63 years ago, you know where he is. He's heading towards the end of his life. And if he fails to develop, if he fails to do what he was supposed to do, he will suffer without pension. That is the story of Nigeria. Why am I saying this? 270 young children, I am telling you, in elementary school, in primary school, that's what we call it in Africa. They were kidnapped. They were kidnapped about 5 days ago from their elementary school. They were kidnapped in front of their parents. Their parents saw them being loaded into a bus and they were driven away. A country that is supposed to have a police. A country where the army now is being abused as and being used to do what? To do police work. Soldiers are not trained as law enforcement agents. But in Nigeria, soldiers are now frequent on the streets. They have become so corrupted. They are made to do what is not their constitutional duties. The police is sidelined. Okay, they have the soldiers. The soldiers could not prevent the kidnap of these children in quantum, in numbers. Where on earth does it happen? Where on earth? Yes, there have been cases like that before now. These people are becoming so audacious to do what they do because Nigeria has a collapsed national security infrastructure. Yes, that is why it is important. I wish we had a serious AU. The African Union needs to do something fast about Nigeria before we produce another Somalia. Nigeria needs to be invaded by Africans so that we can save lives. I'm afraid that we see a very bad Rwanda in Africa, the way things are going. I am so worried. And that is what I've been seeing, blood, rivers of blood, ocean of blood, because of the attitude of minority elements from a minority group in Nigeria that have deployed mercenaries across the length and breadth of Nigeria. kidnapping our people, raping our women, preventing farmers from accessing their farms, thereby producing the type of very dangerous food insecurity we have. These children were kidnapped. And you know what? The big Achilles heel that we have ever had that must go away if we truly dream of building a real Nigeria, a real country, an organic Nigeria, where everybody can be one another's keeper, where all of us can be proud to be true Nigerians, where it doesn't matter what I worship, Mohammed will still extend a handshake and give me a hug and love me as the Nigerian that he is, and I give it back to him. Where when there is a problem in Afghanistan, I will not be attacked because I am assumed to be a Christian. Yes, that is how horrible the mindset that drives some people in Nigeria is. When there is trouble in Afghanistan, the next minute that trouble is in Nigeria, people will start vandalizing and killing fellow Nigerians. We are not Arabs. We are not Arabs. When there was war in Iraq, it was raging in Africa, in Nigeria. What is going on between the Hamas and Israel? You need to see how people are spoiling for war. Now, assuming Israel is killing Palestinians, you who is accusing Israel is doing the same thing to me in Nigeria. So what is the difference between you and Israel in your barbarism? Yeah, so this group, they call themselves Northern elders, Northern leaders. They want a criminal, the one they call Ahmad Gumi. I just discovered yesterday that Ahmad Gumi is an Hausa man. I thought he was Fulani. The voice of a terrorist. He's been their spokesperson. He makes cases to justify their killings, their kidnapping, and the raping of innocent Nigerian people, their robbery and the slaughtering of our people and selling some of their body parts. Ahmad Gumi. They want the rogue government of Nigeria to engage him so he can go and negotiate the release of those poor, innocent, and defenseless people that were stolen, that were kidnapped by his boys, that he works for him. I would think that from the past experience, that man, Ahmad Gumi, is supposed to be in jail right now, answering questions about his involvement with the terrorism and banditry in Nigeria. This is a man who will stand before on the pulpit, preaching the word of God. Which God? Which Allah does Ahmad Gumi and the northern, those who call themselves northern leaders? What God? Mostly hypocrites, corrupt people, inhumane, mostly thieves. All of them, whenever they are given jobs as government officials, they use the opportunity to steal and rob. Secretary to the Federation stole over 180 billion naira. A few months later, he went to Kano and was given a chieftaincy title. The chairman of APC was the immediate past governor of Kano State. He was caught on camera taking loads of dollar bribe in his pocket. He was recorded. Everything was made available. He was not prosecuted. Now he was, what did we do? He's chairman of the APC, the party, the terrorist organization, fronting as a political party in Nigeria that has come to destroy the entire country. How? Ex-governor of Zamfara State, Dr. Bello Matawale, is now Nigeria's defense minister. And we are fighting terrorism in Nigeria. Have you seen? You know what this man did as governor? He was purchasing operational vehicles for bandits terrorizing Zamfara State. He housed them. He gave them a house in the Zamfara State government house. The minister is the Minister of Defense. How can Nigeria be safe and secure, people? How will Nigeria be safe and secure? Are we a serious country? So they wanted to negotiate. So negotiation involves a lot of money. The bandits are asking for, they say, is it 30 trillion naira? What is Nigeria's annual budget? That is the new way of Gumi and his gang of northern leaders of making money. These people, the kidnappers, from what we heard, they are like daily laborers. This money that they pay, the ransom that they don't even see it, they are given some pittances. And the big guys that front themselves as the leaders of the North get the big. That's the new way of taking money from Nigeria. That is sad. That is sad. I want you people of Nigeria, especially you from the north of Nigeria. You are Nigeria. I don't believe in north. I don't believe in south. But for this situation that we are dealing with, that was why we created what we call Open Nigeria, where I am convener. We want to remove from our heads, our mind, our psyche, this idea of divided Nigeria, north and south. Because these northern elders, leaders, whatever they call some of them Sultan emirs, they are lazy. They are mostly lazy people. They are corrupt. They are hypocrites. They say they pray 5 times a day, but the evil in their hearts knows no boundary. They don't love Nigeria. They are so unpatriotic. They are so divisive. They don't want any good for Nigeria. They create this phantom feeling of northern Nigeria. Northern Nigeria is like a country on its own that is competing with the sovereign Nigeria that we believe. They don't believe in Nigeria. You see, they start pumping it into the heads of their young people that they are not. So before you say anything to them, I'm a northerner. I'm a northerner. So whenever they say that, I feel withdrawn. Because I believe that if you call me a southerner, you are insulting me. You are reducing me. You are making me a smaller Nigerian than I am supposed to be. My heart is too big. My size is too big. My stature is too big. The way I think is too big to be so restricted to one part of the country. But that is a tradition for them. They pump it into their head. So they don't understand what it takes to be a Nigerian. They tell you about northerner. That's the first thing they will tell you. I'm a northerner. I'm a northerner. As old as some of them will get to 80 years, they still have this. So we must find a way to stop this. We must find a way to erase this so we can blend our country. Nigeria is not transformed. Nigeria is not united. Nigeria has never been united, and Nigeria will not be united unless we divorce ourselves from that past, ugly past that some people want to say, some lazy people, because that's the only way they can be relevant. If they break everything down, because they hate quality, they hate quality, they hate healthy competition. They want to grab. That is how, because they were given the opportunity, inordinate opportunity that they had. They disordered our army. They used the army as a tool for intimidating and blackmailing the people of Nigeria. A population, their population is less than 7 million in Nigeria. How they did it is something I have been asking questions about. The Nigerian army is not truly a Nigerian army. The Nigerian army is a tribal army with the command and control infrastructure, either directly or remotely in the hands of a miniature set of people in Nigeria. So what they are trying to do now, if you see, they have been raising hell for some time now about hunger in the land. Yes, there is hunger. They were the ones who brought Bola Ahmed Tinubu upon Nigeria. Yes, they know. They saw the documentation about his drug dealings. They saw documentations about his fake results. They saw documentation about his identity theft. They said no, they won't support any other candidate. They want their own. Bola Ahmed is a Muslim. We want a Muslim. They do Muslim tickets. They put a terrorist as his vice presidential candidate. Then he has all these bad records. Now look at where our country is. Gumi came out to say that Christians cannot, not because I care, I'm not a Christian, I'm a Rastaman. Not because he came out to say that Christians are not good with security, managing security of our country. Yes. Now we have 2 rogue Muslims who pray 5 times a day with their northern leaders who pray 5 times a day, corrupt, morally bankrupt. They hate it when we tell them this truth. They'll be spoiling for war, reading fatwa. Now it's time. Now this whole thing, this is a warning to all of them and everybody in Nigeria, including the Hausa people that they have used for 220 years. 63 out of it was their membership as Nigerians. Yes, they morphed. They disabled the Hausa man's mindset. They kill him, they destroy him, they subjugate him, and then tell him that they are one and the same people. They are one and the same people because they are Muslims. Look at where we are right now. Hausa people are dying in quantums. Hausa people are not able to go to their farms. Hausa women are being raped. Yes, Hausa people they are losing their villages. They are running away from they are driving them and occupying their lands. The same thing that they did in 1804. Now they are expanding that evil program across the country. This is the reason why we must stop them. So any person who comes in the name of the North, who does not give anything in the North, I know the North. I lived there. 8 years of me staying in Kano. I left with a wound. Here, right here. I will not stop showing the world that. I was stabbed. They wanted to kill me. They killed my friend. 1991 riot. It was after that I left Kano. Yes. Now I said I was going to be back. I didn't know that I'll be doing all this. I've forgiven them because those who did it were some young, ignorant people, maybe some Hausas that have been so brainwashed. How can you have a people who have over 20 million young children on the streets begging without form and structure? They throw them out. How will any mother, how will any father throw a 6-year-old out that is learning Islam? Yes, you throw him out. There are state governors in all those states of the North. Yes, about 10 of those states in the North. Hardcore North, where people say that they don't drink alcohol. All right, but they collect money that the government of Nigeria collects as excise tax from breweries, and they share it to them and they take. Yes, this is how the hypocrites that we have in Nigeria. If I were a governor, I don't drink beer. I'm not going to take money from people who drink beer to support programs in my state. Then you have indirectly drunk beer. How can you come from a country where, because they are fasting now, people are fasting, you arrest Muslims that you found eating in this 21st century? They arrest them. Why? Are you supposed to be the one enforcing that? Or God? Let God punish whoever is not doing what he's supposed to do as a Christian or as a Muslim. In Kano, it was so sad when I heard it that the Sharia police was arresting people in Kano, young Muslims found eating. That is ridiculous. Is it by force? So people don't have their basic human rights, right to choices that they make, right to their lives, right to freedom of expression, right to freedom of association, right to worship God however anybody wants, and right to self-determination. Yes, this is what is happening. Hypocrisy among these people. They don't care about Nigeria. They don't care about anybody. They don't care about the future of the country. All they want is take, take, take. They run down all of our country's institutions. NMPC down, NEPA down. The central bank now is ailing. They ate up all the money there. In that they touch, they destroy. We should not allow this group of people in power in Nigeria. They have failed us for 63 years. If they had ruled us, who cares? They were doing great. Our countries like Dubai right now, who cares? Nobody cares. But nepotism, repression, their allergy to quality is second to none. We come from a country where admission standards are lowered for a people who receive a lot of money in budget but refuse to invest in the people. They refuse to build capacity. But when admission times comes, somebody scores 500 from somewhere else and somebody scores 15%. Admission is given to that person with 15%. And then he struggles through school and then comes and becomes a director in a Ministry of Finance. And oh, Lord have mercy. Nigeria needs to, if we cannot get it together, let's just part ways so we can put quality back into that country. Seriously. Yes, I am an advocate of open one Nigeria, but I don't want a Nigeria with this type of state of disequilibrium. It sets the country back. Yes, wrong people occupying positions. That is what Nigeria has been suffering. We cannot continue Nigeria that way. We need a brand new Nigeria. We need a Nigeria that works for. We need a Nigeria that has full, equal, free, open, unlimited, and unconditional access to opportunity for all to grow and develop and progress and prosper according to their abilities and levels of competency. That way, we will build a healthy Nigeria. We will build a just Nigeria. We will build a Nigeria that has strong national security infrastructure intact. We will build a Nigeria where someone can go to sleep and have a dream, and his or her dream will come true. Yes, we will build a Nigeria where legislators not appropriate money to themselves, buying expensive vehicles when millions of their compatriots are going to sleep on empty stomachs. We will build a system where humane people will come and be there. And then we'll continue to recycle goodness and progress all the way from generation to generation. That is how countries grow. That is how America is where it is right now. That is why Britain, who goes out there to exploit Africa, that's how and put it back into their system. They invest into their system. And then when we try to come there, they deny us visa. Yeah, they look out like we are fleas. But what they steal from us grows their economy. It's time. Young Nigerians, young Africans, you are my targets. You are my targets. I want you to start thinking. I want you to start thinking. Remember who you are. Remember you are from Africa. Remember that perhaps you are from Nigeria, Zimbabwe, South Africa, anything. Carry that pride of African. It's the best to be an African. Yes, it is the best. So project it. Because while we see this, the leaders of Africa right now, majority of them are colonial children. Yeah, they have colonial mentality. Those are the ones, when any white man says anything, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir, they'll be running. You see how Macron treats them like a little kid, that little boy, who married his great-grandmother. Yes, treats African leader with disdain and disrespect. Yes, he has nothing in his head. He cannot treat me that way, but he does that to them because they believe that they are inferior to the white man. Now, you should not. We have been to classes in the same class with white people. They don't even see our backs, but they have something that's working for them. Imperial legacy, the colonial legacy that their forefathers left for them for generations. They carried forward to continue to oppress the whole of the world. Yes, especially Africa. Let me speak for the people of Africa. Africa is not moving fast. They are not moving anywhere because of the mindset that drives the leadership in Africa. Something has to change. And this is the reason why we should start listening to Malema. Oh my God. Listen to that young man. South Africans, you are listening to me. You are South Africans listening to me. I don't care what ANC is telling you. I don't care what Zuma is saying. I'm telling you, look at your future. Look at your pride. Look at the story. Look at your history. 1652, when the Boers came into your country to take it over. Look at the struggle that you put up, gallant struggle. If not because of South Africans, I would think that all the black people are weak people like it is in Nigeria now. Sadly, Nigerians can't even open their mouth to challenge evil. Yes, this is so bad. I felt so bad. And if not that I grew up at a time, we were able to stand up and challenge the army, do everything to that what we wanted. This generation of Nigerians, I'm so scared of them. I don't know what it is. Like somebody did something to them. Why they cannot reason to see what is taking place, that their generation is being imperiled by these criminals. I don't know why, but we'll continue to talk to them, hoping that one day something will click in their head and then do what they need to do to set their country free. Nigeria deserves a reset. So South African young people, please don't lose your mind. Don't lose the struggles of your forefathers. Since 1652 to 1994, that's nearly 400 years of struggle. Don't throw it away, please, please, please. Be the stars. I don't know what I will tell you to support Julius Malema to become the next president of South Africa in July. Please, give him a chance. He is a die-hard Pan-Africanist like some of us. Give him a chance. Ibrahim Traore and the guy in Mali and Libya, they need more support for what they are doing to remove Imperial Europe from ever deciding our destiny anymore. Please, Traore and those guys, they need more revolutionaries, genuine revolutionaries, young people who are thinking. If you are in the army, you are anywhere, your country's civilian government is not doing good, overthrow them. Yes, and join these people. They are the true patriots. You hear former president of South Africa, Mbeki, even said it, that the real patriots right now of Africa are in the military, young military revolutionaries. I don't see anyone in Nigeria yet. I wish we have one in Nigeria. I would have been so happy, but there is none. That is why we don't want a coup in Nigeria, because the coup that will happen in Nigeria will not be real one. It will not be a real coup. It's going to be fake, and mostly fake, unless somebody is ready to surprise me. That's why I'm not supporting any coup. They talk about coup in Nigeria. When they say it, I will say no. Nigerian army is so corrupted right now. They cannot do a real coup. Maybe there are some, but they need to prove themselves. But any coup, which is what these northern elders, northern fake northern leaders are looking for. I know they are planning a coup, but then we will resist it. Any army soldier man, especially from that clan, who comes to announce that he's taking over government in Nigeria, will be roundly and squarely resisted. Yes, because if we allow that, that will be handing over power to Boko Haram. That's what they're looking for. The people there, all the masterminds, these northern leaders who are making all this noise, blackmailing Nigeria and Nigerians, they are the reason Boko Haram is flourishing. They are the ones sponsoring Boko Haram and the bandits in Nigeria. Sadly, the rogue that they bring to power cannot rein them in. Yes, give me Nigeria. Give me Nigeria. Give me Nigeria. These people will run if they are able to escape the hellfire that will come. They will run. Yes, but Bola Ahmed Tinubu is one of them. He corrupted himself. They gave him the power that he did not deserve. Now he has messed up the country continuously messed up the country like they have done. So the trajectory continues. We hope that the people of Nigeria will come together and send them out, but not through a coup. Not through a coup. Unless a die-hard revolutionary springs up from the Nigerian armed forces and do what the people of Nigeria are looking for. What Jerry Rawlings did in Ghana, unless there is one that is willing to do it. But I doubt it, because the army's command and control infrastructure in Nigeria is so bad. The corruption in the army is so bad. Yes. That is why an external continental body by the African Union would have been better positioned to overrun Nigeria. Set Nigeria free. Nigeria needs to be free. I don't know, the people inside Nigeria are so weak. They have been weakened by hunger. They have been weakened by years of being repressed. They have been weakened by years of being taunted and haunted by the army and the fake DSS. Commanded by who? One of those who sponsor Boko Haram in Nigeria. The DSS director, he works for Boko Haram. Boko Haram came to Nigeria's presidential, the biggest prison in Nigeria. Operated for 3 hours. Released all their members awaiting trial. And went away with them. 3 hours later, that was when DSS, police, and army started showing up. So are you telling me that there's no complicity in it? Yes. You know what Buhari did to Nigeria? Buhari was the one who laid the foundation for the destruction of the Nigerian army. He destroyed everything. Terrorists that were arrested, he brought them inside Nigerian army. So you see now, the Nigerian army is operating with the Boko Haram and bandits together. So how are you going to, what are you going to do with that type of army? Do you see the lie that they put up the other day? They said they went to Kontagora in Niger State. They arrested dozens, tons of bandits inside the bush. So when they played the video, I was laughing. A friend of mine sent it to me. I said, are you crazy? So you want to believe this lie? The soldiers were having fun riding their motorcycle around these people. Come on now. Obviously, those are villagers that they rounded up and put them up for that show. Take a picture for them and then released it into the Nigerian cyberspace. And many people were sharing them. Are you crazy? Are you really? You can't put that bullshit before me. Yes. Our people have lost the analytical mindset, to be able to know what is true and lies. And that is how sad it is. But we will not give up. We will not surrender. Nigeria is our country. Africa is our continent. Now, I want to appeal to people from other countries where Nigerians are. Please, don't look down on them. Treat them with respect. If any of them is acting crazy, doing things that is out of the law, take them to the law and let the law deal decisively with them. But don't stigmatize them as Nigerians, that all Nigerians are bad. Majority of Nigerian people are the greatest people that you can deal with on earth. Some of them go into crimes in various countries because of because perhaps they already have a criminal mindset, and some of them, do it as last resort. I know I met a lot of them when I was in South Africa, as a professional. I came to Johannesburg with my driver. I went into a restaurant, and all of a sudden, the police busted into that restaurant and started shooting. I refused to move, but I saw people flying the windows and all that. And the police officer walked up to me. He said, "Why are you not running?" I said, "Run for what? I don't have any reason to run when everybody is running. I don't know why they are running." So he said, "What are you doing?" I said, you see me in front of food here. I've come to eat." Then he asked me for my resident permit and stuff like that. I gave it to him, and he said, then he left with a handshake from me. He said, "You're a really good guy, a really example." I said, "Yeah, but I'm not a criminal." Yes, I met drug situations twice. First on arrival in South Africa, the hotel that I stayed in, Rosebank Hotel. in South Africa. I met this white man, and then he was trying to talk me into drugs. I allowed him do all he wanted to do. And then the second I told him, I know you've been meeting a lot of Nigerians. You say every Nigerian is not a drug dealer. Not every Nigerian is that vulnerable for you to learn to. If I don't have anything to do here, I'm going to return to Nigeria the way I came. I don't have to sell drugs. So I tell him, get the hell out of my sight now. So he left. So that is the thing. So please, if you are Nigerian, you meet Nigerians, treat them nice. If you can help them, help them. Please don't stigmatize them, don't hate them, don't attack them because they are Nigerian. Because we saw series of that in South Africa. I don't know really what happened between South Africans and Nigerians living in South Africa. I think some in Johannesburg and some in Durban. Yes, when I lived in South Africa, I had a lot of fun. I enjoyed this in my previous videos. I said it how close I was to the mayor of Betal, the one they call it Zinoni, right? Yeah. In fact, I was like his rock behind him because of the hard time he had being the first black mayor of that city, and how uncooperative the white people there, the minority, were to him. And I kept on urging him on. He invited me to many of his cabinet meetings. I attended when I had the time. When I was leaving, he was crying. Yes, he didn't want me to leave, but I had to leave already coming to the United States. So that's and I remember coming out, young South Africans would be coming to touch me and ask me questions about Nigeria because they didn't know better. But the only thing I understand, what I know, that they were so appreciative of Nigeria's contribution to their liberation struggle. And then when in 1995, we had a problem when the Ken Saro-Wiwa was murdered by Abacha, 1995. They were coming to me. They wanted to recruit them to come and help Nigeria fight because Mandela was calling for armed struggle in Nigeria. Yes, they came to me. They wanted to come to join. So I was so happy. But I don't know what happened years after, maybe after I left, this kind of relationship that Nigerians had, where they would be killing Nigerians and destroying their businesses. It hurts me whenever I hear it. But if you're a South African now, please, and then Nigerians there, I want to appeal to you that remember, you are our brothers. Remember, we have spilled so much of our blood for foreign interest. Let's show one another some love and show one another respect. Because at the end of the day, we are talking about the unification of Africa in line with the vision of our founding fathers. I'm talking about Kwame Nkrumah, Emperor Haile Selassie, Modibo Keita, Jomo Kenyatta, Samora Machel, Sekou Toure, and a host of them. They had this great lofty dream about bringing Africa together. And the reason they did it because they were visionaries. They were seeing. Their eyes were not clouded. They understood what the struggle took them. They understood the ideology Marcus Garvey sold to them about a free Africa. Marcus Garvey was a descendant of slaves born in Jamaica. He formed a big Back to Africa movement of 6 million Africans, Black people from across the world. And if there's anything that inspires me, in what I'm doing right now, is Marcus Garvey, his work, his life, the sacrifices he made, and how he was humiliated here in the United States. Yes, if you hear what Bob Marley sang about him, you understand such a great icon. He was the one who prophesied, the emergence of Emperor Haile Selassie in 1930, when he was coronated as the Emperor of Ethiopia. Yes, great men that we should be reading about. If you are a Black person, a young person, you don't know the story of Marcus Garvey. I appeal to you. I don't want to insult you. Please go and study Marcus Garvey. You will come out a better person. You will come out thinking well. You will come out thinking, being proud of who you are. That man, Marcus Garvey, the Moses, the first Moses of Africa, from 10,000 miles from Africa. Some maybe depending on the country where you're from. I think between where he is and where he was, where he operated, to Nigeria was about 10,000 miles. I know perhaps his father, for someone in South Africa. This guy was the one who, through his speech, he never came to Africa, but through his words and his writing, yes, inspired the liberation struggle that started yielding results in the late 1950s into the early 1960s, and later in 1975, and then up to 1994, when South Africa was liberated. That was Marcus Garvey. He built a 6 million man black movement without no cell phone, no access to the social media. He had no Facebook, no LinkedIn, nothing. That was when that was when the black man was ready to be free. Now they gave us these devices. What are we using it for? What are we using our phones for? We're not using it to work for Africa. We're not using it to network. This is that moment we must network right now, because they are coming again. If they are not in your country, are you not seeing Chinese all over your country? Are you not seeing them? You're not seeing France in your country. You're not seeing Britain in your country. They come and lie to you that they will build infrastructure. No, they never. Nobody can love you as much as you love yourself. They plant puppets across our continents. See what France did to the French colonies in Africa for, oh Lord, yes, see what they did. And they still had arrogance. They look at us like dogs, even less than dogs. The black man in the eye of a typical white man is not what is dog. Yes, I am not saying I don't hate white people, but I'm just telling you why you should raise your consciousness. Yes, France, the worst of all. What France did in Africa is unspeakable. And that is why they must be kicked out of every African country. France has no right to be in any African country. Kick them out. That's what it is. So we can assume responsibility. We need to re-educate ourselves. The education we have is wrong. So if you want to perpetuate slavery, you educate your slave the wrong way, so he will never find himself. We are lost as a people. We need to rethink our educational system. Yes, Africans are lost, but we can recover. And that is why you should now start listening. If you have not been listening to Julius Malema, listen to his messages. Listen to my messages. Listen to Professor Patrick Lumumba. Listen to Ibrahim Traore. Those are born revolutionaries. In the modes of Nelson Mandela, in the modes of Sekou Toure, in the modes of Kwame Nkrumah, in the modes of Julius Nyerere. Very simple people. Abdel Nasser and all that. They were very, very patriotic visionaries of Africa. They envisioned what is taking place in Africa right now. That was why they wanted a United States of Africa right from the beginning. Now, going back to Nigeria. Yes, the situation we have in Nigeria is dire. Regional nationalism, strongest in the north of the country, is holding the country back. The big problem Nigeria has is from the elements, leadership elements, corrupt leadership elements, bigoted leadership elements who do not want the good of the country. We must not allow them. We must not allow them. We must liberate our people in the north. They use feudalism to hold the Hausa people. They call them peasants. Only if you have to be from Osman Danfodio family to be able to make it in the north. If you're not from there, forget you. You know, in the whole of Nigeria, there's only one person who is connected to Hausa, who is governor. But they have the biggest population in the whole of West Africa. Yes. See, they destroyed them. They subjugated them. They made them like, you are not going to be anybody. Yes. See, at a city where Hausas are a majority, a Fulani is the emir. That tell you how they beat them down. Yes. And then Gumi, sad, that Gumi, so he will roast in hell for what he's doing on earth. Yes. That is the evil. Nigeria is going through an apartheid system. Worse against the Hausa people. Worse against the Hausa people. I wish they can listen and rise up and set themselves free. The Hausa people needs to be free in Nigeria. They are the biggest victims of Nigeria, the Hausa race. But Nigerians don't understand what is taking place. See, when the people who run Nigeria, they speak Hausa. They are not Hausa people. They abandon their own language. They don't speak their language. They take the Hausa language, master it. Just the same thing the French people did in Africa. Policy of assimilation. All right, this one is forced assimilation. Drove it down their throats. Take it or leave it. They can't cry. They whoop their ass, but they can't cry. They come and tell them, oh, we are Muslims. We are together. Namune. And for a very long time, these people foolishly followed them, even as they are continuing to destroy them. It's time to liberate the Hausa people. I hope our messages will help them wake up and be who they should be, and be the true Nigerian that they should be, and come into the mainstream of Nigerian. They are Africans. They are not Arabs. They are original Africans. So they must not be confused and misused and abused because of religious similarities. They must understand that they have rights. They must understand that that their poverty is imposed by some people, not Allah, like as they are made to believe that when you are in trouble, you are dying, you are poor, Allah is responsible for that. Allah does not make anybody to be responsible. Allah is a good man. Allah is a father. Allah loves his children equally. He does not love subjugation. Allah is supposed to be an Allah of justice, not an Allah of discrimination and hate, not an Allah of beating people down by a minority who wants to continue to control the world. It's not that way, and it shouldn't be that way. All right. Hey, it's great hearing from you guys and spending this quality time with you. I will see you again in my next broadcast, but please don't fail to subscribe to our channel and on YouTube and everywhere you see us preaching this message of liberation for Africa and the African people. God bless you, and God bless Nigeria. God bless Africa.
Or a business idea, here are 3 of the 5 best business.
Yeah, this is for the youth from Bob Marley.
But once a million, twice a time, everything is just alright. Seem like
total destruction, only solution. Yeah, they know youths, no one can stop them now. They know youths, nobody can stop them now. Nation was against nation. Where did it all begin? Whoa, whoa. Where will it end? Total destruction, the only solution. Yeah, they know youths. No one can stop them now. Yeah, Nigerian youth, you hear what Bob Marley is saying. African youth, you hear what Bob Marley is saying. He said, no, they can't stop the youths. The youths have the power, they have the energy. Now, what are you doing with your energy? What are you doing with your creative ingenuity? What are you doing with your positive exuberance, Nigerian youths, for you? Yeah, those tuning in there from the Nightingale radio station. Thank you very much for joining us in this special edition of what is taking place at Nigeria Now on ONN. Hey, do come and check back with us again. You know, we hold this our regular session every Saturday, starting at 2 p.m. Nigerian time, which is 8 p.m. Central Standard Time here in the United States. That is 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and 12 midday Pacific. Yeah, no, let us know how we did with this session, by going to the comment section to drop your message. Do you like what we are doing? Do you like what we are saying? If you do, please, share our messages and encourage your friends to share them and subscribe, because we are doing our best to become an alternative to the mainstream media, especially in Nigeria. All right, with this, we come to the end of this edition of Nigeria Now at ONN. See you next Saturday. Oh! Train is coming our way. Zion train is coming our way. Oh, people, down, down, down. And we're moving in the same direction. Train is our way. Zion train is coming our way. Big man can serve his brother's soul. Oh, man is just self-control. Don't get the word and lose your soul.
Wells Fargo just warned its clients that all checking accounts are likely to be replaced with digital dollars. What does that mean?